What's up, horror fam?
You know what time it is.
Let's get into this.
All right.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, horror fam.
Oh.
We're recording this a couple days ahead of time.
You know.
Because that's how we do it.
Yeah. Can't record on Halloween. Got shit to do. Got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time to get shit.
But yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. It's this time of the year.
Yeah, our favorite time of the year.
Our favorite it is. Telling you. I know the weather got cold, but
yeah.
I kind of
It's cold and wet out there.
definitely.
Kind of like my sex life.
Well, not so much wet. And that's why we got kicked off.
Get what you can.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, I know you've been busy all week.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. I got a million things going on, and I cannot get the weather to cooperate with me.
Can't get no cooperation.
I don't have, here we are. So we're recording this on Sunday. Halloween is Tuesday.
Yes.
I probably don't have half of my shit out in the yard because it just won't stop raining.
Yeah, and cold and rainy.
And now we got the added benefit of Halloween night high of 40 degrees.
That's the daytime high.
Daytime high. So that means trick or treat time, it's going to be in the low 30s.
Yeah.
Maybe high 20s.
Yeah.
It's going to suck.
You got a caterpillar? We need one of those caterpillar things out here, a salamander, the salamander heaters.
Well, we don't necessarily need it with this heater. My wife, has been fighting me about opening the garage to people, but I told her, I said, we're going to have to this year because it's going to be too damn cold to be standing outside.
Yeah, it's going to be.
So we're trying to figure that out, which means I still got to clean the shop out. I've got a million things to do, and I can't get it to stop raining long enough for me to get some stuff done.
See, and all you want to do is enjoy Halloween.
I still haven't tested my projection yet. I've tested it inside the shop, but not outside. And, I don't know. I'm just a little butthurt about the weather right now. But, hey, it is what it is. We're going to make the best out of it. We're going to have a good Halloween. Yeah. And we hope you guys have a good Halloween, too.
Yeah, I've already been to like 2 different freaking Halloween things with the kids.
Nice.
They did like trunk or treat things inside. They did one at school, and then they did one last night at that big new red shed over there.
Oh, yeah.
They had an inside thing going on because of the weather, which is nice. All the fun stuff. I've been watching a lot of horror movies with the kids. It's hilarious. So last night, my oldest went down to Bass River Resort for their Boo Fest or whatever, with some friends. So he's
really good customers of ours.
Yeah, he went down there all weekend. So he's been down there doing stuff. And so last night, after the trunk or treat thing, me and my wife and my 6-year-old, soon to be 7. He might as well be 7. Plus, he's got the brain of a 12-year-old anyway. But we watched Exorcist Believer.
Nice. What'd you think of it?
I really enjoyed it.
Really?
I actually thought it was cool. I know I can see why some people say some of the stuff they do, but to me, I thought it was really cool. What I liked about it, and I won't get too much into it because you haven't seen it yet.
I have not watched it yet, no.
I like the concept of how they, fight the demon.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that at that. But
I don't want to say I've avoided it, but I've kind of avoided it.
I enjoyed it.
And it's not because I don't want to see it. I've got to be in the right frame of mind to watch that. And, it's funny. Every time somebody posts something online about it, I'm like, I don't want to read that. I don't want anybody's opinion on that movie until I watch it. I'm worried about it. I've got some concerns.
Well, it's. I guess it all really depends on how you're going into it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you? Yeah. Don't go into it expecting the original Exorcist.
Right.
Because it's not it and it's not that. You know what I mean?
I don't think you'll ever be able to.
But
to create that feeling again.
That's not what it is. You know, it's something different. So
something different.
So
different.
Yes, it's different, but the same, so to speak. But anyways, watched that with him last night, and literally 25, 30 minutes ago, I just got done watching Freddy's.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, let's talk about that. What'd you think of that?
It's cool. It was a good movie for my boys to watch with me.
Okay, and that's kind of what I thought. My wife and I sat down and watched that, and I thought, if I were an 8-10-year-old boy, I'd probably really love this movie. But as it stood for me, it was okay. It was worth a watch.
And see,
I like the story behind it. I think they could have done some things different, but what a lot of people don't know is that movie is based off of a video game.
Yeah, my 6-year-old already knew everything about it. He's like, oh, that's blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's blah, blah, blah. And then when they were talking about, the girl was talking about the dad, like, he was like, oh, that's blah, blah, blah. He's like, and he's the yellow rabbit, and blah, blah, blah. He's going on about all this shit.
Oh, yeah.
He already knew everything before the movie even happened.
Right.
So, no, man, I mean, for me, it's different for coming from my aspect of it, because when we watch horror movies, for us, they're horror movies.
Right.
And honestly, though, it's kind of cool. I get to watch this stuff with my kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it kind of, honestly, for me, it was kind of like Scary Stories Told in the Dark.
Nice.
It was, it was what it was, and it's what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And
I'll be honest with you. I went into it thinking Willy's Wonderland, and I didn't quite get that, but it was a decent movie. It was definitely worth a watch. I'm not knocking it at all.
I love the way they filmed it.
Yeah, absolutely. The acting was good in it.
The atmosphere I thought was cool. The lighting and all that.
You know, it was funny. I do got to say that I didn't know a whole lot about that movie going into it. Never played the game.
Yeah,
and I didn't watch many of the previews because I was like, I don't know. So we're watching it, and all of a sudden I'm like, that's Matthew fucking Lillard. What the fuck? I didn't know he was in this.
Yeah, I don't know shit about it. I don't play video games. My son actually doesn't even play them, but he watches a lot of YouTube, and they play that shit on YouTube all the time. They, they watch people play it, or he watched people talk about it and shit like that. So he knew everything about it already. But I was just glad that it's something they can watch, it adds something to the little repertoire of movies I can watch with the boys and whatnot. My oldest wanted to watch, actually when I was leaving the house, my wife and my 2 kids were watching Talk to Me.
Ah, nice.
When I was leaving, so.
Great movie.
Yes, very fucking. And actually, I just listened today when I was washing dishes and shit and doing stuff around the house. I was listening to Joe Rogan had the directors on Talk to Me, because him and his daughter loved that movie so much. He got a hold of the directors and had them come. That's
awesome.
Yeah, and the fucking directors of that movie, just so you know, like they're complete ADHD kid, like they're young guys.
Okay.
And they are like freaking off they're twin brothers.
Okay.
And they're freaking off the rocker. They're just crazy back and forth, and Joe is having a good time with them and stuff. But like, they're really it takes a lot to listen to it for me, because they're just so like the boom. They're speaking over each other like they're just. But the way they came up with it was really cool though. Since the episode, like the way they came up with that movie started off as they literally in Australia were in their hometown. They were watching this dude having this younger kid having a reaction to a drug, and he's like having a seizure on the floor, like going crazy, and all the friends were just videotaping him and laughing at him. And that's where they got the idea for that.
Gotcha.
That's what started the movie.
Yeah.
And then the one brother who writes most of the stuff, the other brother's like a stunt guy and like kind of like goes with the visual part of it. The other brother just started writing. He's like, I couldn't stop writing. He's like, I think I wrote 80 pages of the script in like 24 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
They were like just fucking going at it. So that's a pretty cool little interview.
Cool. Cool movie. If you guys haven't caught that yet, you really need to watch it. Talk to Me. Probably one of the better movies that's come out in the past few months.
Oh, for sure. That's a really good movie, man.
So I'm going to throw this out there because I remember your initial response on it, which we're not going to get into here. But did you finish the Goosebumps series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As far as you could go right now.
Yeah, as far as I go right now.
Okay.
I think it's episode 10 or something like that, or whatever.
I don't know that they got that far.
Maybe it's 8.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
but
you're right.
Anyway,
it is 8, I think.
Regardless, what did you think about it?
I actually like it a lot. The initial aspect of it, I was kind of like, but
yeah, and we may not need to get into.
We're not going to. But it was pretty interesting. It is darker than the old school show. I really like the atmosphere of it.
I did too. My wife and I watched it, and I absolutely loved it. And I was not Goosebumps. It's kind of weird. I'm an in between generation, so Goosebumps didn't really hit for me because I was too old for it.
Right.
By the time it came out. But there's been little things here and there that I've seen from it, and it was cool. I wish I'd have been in that time frame. But this series, I thought was really good. My wife really enjoyed it.
The atmosphere is really awesome. The ambience of it.
Yeah, the effects that they use in it. Dude, the very first episode, like when the house blows up and you see that demon's face in the fire coming out. Oh, dude, that was just perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, and then that's kind of like that. I guess it's not really a horror. It's more. I was talking about that Corbin Nash shelters, but that's more of a mystery.
Yeah. Which it was a great series too.
Right. It's just more of a
great
mystery
series
type thing.
too. But that's more about human trafficking.
But yeah, man. I mean, I liked it, and like I said, it's stuff I can get my sons into.
Right.
It's not so bad, but
yeah, that would be that. I think what I really liked about it is they filmed that and produced that in a way that a parent can watch that with their kids and they'll both enjoy it. There's enough there for the parents to get out of it, but yet it's not so much that a kid couldn't watch it.
Yeah, it's just crazy when you go back and think about like what is acceptable and what gets put on TV now compared to what it was then. And actually, honestly, it kind of went from like more stuff being acceptable and put on TV in the 60s and 70s. And as you got into the 80s and 90s, it kind of got like, and especially the 90s, it got really kind of like, Well,
the 80s kind of led us down that whole censorship.
Right. And now it's back
to
PMRC
and regulations and rules.
And now it's just
all
like
that
fucking
shit that we were like, fuck you.
Now it's just like, hey, put everything on TV.
Now you can just do whatever the hell you want.
It's crazy, man. But it is what it is.
I really enjoyed it.
Right. 100%, man. It sucks because like we have so much knowledge and so much stuff. We've talked about this a billion times at our fingertips, and there's no mystery anymore, unless you go out and find it.
Yeah, you're right.
Or unless you go out and you like with my sons, I have to like. They're very, very intelligent boys, but they're really just they ask a lot of questions. They want to know everything. They want to know the facts on things, and like they're smart, man. Like they ask questions about some stuff, and you're like, well,
let me tell you how it is, son.
Well, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I gotta really draw a close line to telling them what's really going on and not lying to them, and then letting them also keep that mystery in their head.
Yeah.
Like my son be like, "Are werewolves real?"
Yes.
And I'd be like, "I don't know. Are they?" And he'd be like, and he'll
That's a good response.
And he'll be like, "I think so." I'm like, well, we got to watch out for them. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's stuff like that, you know?
Of course they're real, and I hope they look like Anna Paquin did in Trick or Treat. Anyway, sorry.
Speaking of
the reason why I brought that up is last night we did pumpkin carving with my wife's brother and his girlfriend, and we did it here in the studio, and I told her, I said, we're going to watch a horror movie, we're going to have dinner, and we're going to do some pumpkin carving. And she was like, oh, yeah. And she's like, so his girlfriend is not into horror at all. It's not that she dislikes it. She just has never really watched much of it.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, what do you want to watch? Because I always got to think about what I'm about to show somebody. I honestly do, you know, because stuff that would not hit me is terrifying to somebody else.
Should have watched Terrifier.
So, well, I brought that up to my wife. Which I got a really cool thing to talk about on that too. But anyway, she said, you pick. I'll watch anything you want to watch. And so I'm like, okay, well, I knew what I wanted to show her. So I chose 2007's Trick or Treat. And I did that for several reasons. One is it is horror, but it is fairly mild. There's a little bit of gore in there, but the storyline behind it is amazing. Mm-hmm. Amazing. I absolutely love that movie. As soon as it came out, it became one of my classic must-watches. I watch it every year for Halloween now. And even though that movie came out in 2007, it still is a great movie. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it. So anyway, watched it with her last night. All four of us. We watched Trick or Treat and did some pumpkin carving and had a good time. And she wasn't completely petrified. But I did bring up to my wife, I said, hey, I can pick anything I want, huh? Terrifier. We all know, you guys should know, Terrifier is probably one of my favorite movies that's come out in a long time. Absolutely loved it, and the second one knocked it out of the park, too. Here's what I want to talk about. So, we all know that they're working on a Terrifier 3 right now, but it just came out within the last couple days that the guy who wrote and directed those movies, Damien Leone, has piqued interest into remaking Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, I seen that. I read that earlier. Yeah.
Dude, Damien Leone would be fucking awesome at doing Friday the 13th. That movie would be more brutal than it's ever been.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as we've got perfect nipple placement, we'll be all right. But, man, how good would that be to have somebody directing Jason Voorhees?
Who do you have play him?
Oh, dude. That's a tough call. My all-time favorite, of course, is Kane Hodder. But when you're talking about reinventing or reimagining an iconic villain like that, it's got to be somebody menacing.
Right, you know what I mean? Someone that's, like, imposing.
Yeah, and the most imposing person I know of is Kane Hodder. But don't know that he would do that.
Oh, no, dude.
And I'm not going to say anything bad about Derek Mears. I think he did a great job, but he was no Kane Hodder.
I think it depends on which direction he wants to go with it, too, you know. Is it more of the... So is this like a complete remake?
Don't know. I know with him, though, it's going to be extremely gory and very brutal.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, like, you need to have it to where it's... If you're going to reinvent this, you need to make it where it's more kind of modernized to the fact of, like... Because, like, even with me, sometimes I find that... And I hate saying this because I'm a horror movie head, you know, but I find some movies just so, like... I don't know, so pointless, you know, like Strangers. It's that movie
Strangers
is not fucking scary, and to me, it's just like
I like that movie.
To me, it's just like You have a fucking shotgun, bro.
Use it.
They have nothing besides knives and shit.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing? Like, I catch myself doing that all the time. I really got to step out of my own head on things. I think that's probably just mainly my own thoughts on things. But like I say, so getting into this, I think, he needs to make it it would be cool to make it more more modernized to the point of where he would be more menacing. He would be bigger. You want a big person who's freaking like really
10 foot tall and bulletproof.
Yeah, and imposing force on someone.
Yeah.
You
got to make him fast.
Right. So to be fast, you have to be agile. You have to be athletic.
Here's what I would like to see happen, and I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I would like to see a Friday the 13th that revolves around Jason. Let me explain that. Every Friday the 13th movie, Jason is the unstoppable force, but the movie actually revolves around the counselors.
Right. Well, that's because
what I would like them to do is put the movie almost in the perspective
POV.
of Jason. Make it
POV.
all about Jason. I want to see every kill. I want to see those gears turning in his head. I want to,
Yeah, but then you're not going to be able to draw everybody else in because they want to see girls. They want to see people like talking about shit. They want to see.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get that. But have you seen what was that fan-made film? Never Hike Alone, or was that?
Oh yeah,
Never Hike
yeah,
Alone?
yeah.
Dude, the way they put that together was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it was like from a Jason point of view.
Yeah.
To an extent,
Yeah. I mean,
I think Damien Leone could do a lot more with that movie than we got.
Honestly, I just wish they'd come up with their own shit. Like, talk to me. Look how fucking great that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's a great movie, great concept, an original concept. Some remakes are okay. Some continuances are okay. But like it's just hey, we're gonna this did really good and it's been around for years. What's this fucking remake it? And it's like, God dang, man.
Right.
Come up with your own shit. And I know like right now there's a big writer's block and whatever shit going on, all that bullshit.
Someday that'll all be over and we'll look back and be like, them fucking rich ass bastards. What the fuck were they thinking?
I don't know, man. It's
yeah. But anyway,
there's enough good stuff out right now, so we'll just.
There are some good things out. It's funny. Netflix keeps pumping out some good horror here and there. Hulu's pushing out a lot of stuff. Peacock, if you have Peacock, they have an amazing list of horror movies. I got in there the other day, and they had a section called Fright Fest. Had over 400 horror movies in it.
Damn.
And different. I mean, we're talking all genres and all the way back to classic black and whites to modern day horror.
Did I tell you what I've been watching? And mainly because I wasn't watching it like before when it came out, just because I just had other shit going on. But and I didn't really have the means to watch at the time. But Ghost Nation.
Okay.
I've been watching I've been going back and watching all their shit. I actually really like the new shit, the stuff they were making.
The way they're doing
things now.
I watched quite a bit of it when it first came out, but I haven't watched it in a long time. I kind of, and it's weird for me. I'm a big ghost buff. I always have been. I find the supernatural just fascinating. But I don't know, for some reason, I just have problems getting into these ghost hunting shows. It's hard for me to stick with them.
Right.
There's a couple caveats in there, but have you seen that the house in between? Have you seen those? So they were produced by Steve Gonzalez.
Okay.
And it was a real investigation that they did of a haunting of one specific house. There's actually 2 movies.
Okay.
They did the first movie, and they show you all the stuff that they caught.
I actually think I remember.
You know, very cool movies. But Steve is actually on there a couple times. He talks about it. You know, talks about the actual case,
right,
and stuff, and basically it's all their footage that they did when they were going in investigating this place, and it wasn't even his.
So he was
It wasn't even his team per se.
Right.
He got involved at some point, but it was a different ghost hunting team that was investigating.
So he was kind of narrating it then.
No, not really. I mean, he ends up coming in. He's the one that produced it. But I think what had happened is the lady had contacted them,
mm-hmm.
and he couldn't get involved for some reason, so they sent another team. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it was that was really good.
That's
really
probably
good.
what popped off this idea for Ghost Nation. Because I mean, that's what they do is they work with other
teams.
Local teams in the areas that they go to and stuff like that. I don't know. I just during this time of the year, I kind of like to catch up on things that I haven't really. Yeah. That used to bring me back into the mood of this time of the year. You know.
Well, it sucks for me because I don't have time to catch up on shit.
Well,
I watch this shit all the time.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Like, well, not only that, but like, you just don't get any chance of even just enjoying this month.
I know it kind of. I don't know. At some point, I'm just going to quit doing Halloween altogether.
Well,
no, I'm not.
I think it's more. You got to start being able to enjoy yourself a little more. It's turning into.
I've got too much shit going on.
Yeah, it's turning into a job instead of.
Not. It's just I can't get shit done.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just one of those things
it's
where
like I got too many. Every weekend that I've tried to get out there to do something, it's either been raining or my wife's got a million things for me to do.
Yeah. Life keeps on ticking. I feel you, man. And that's like for me. I've just been thinking about that myself.
I just need to take a pause, but it is cool though. I'm off tomorrow and Tuesday, so sun's supposed to be shining tomorrow. I'll get some shit done.
Yep.
Be here by myself. I'll probably be eating Cheetos and never mind.
Oh Lord, man. No, talking about Halloween though. I was just thinking
Halloween. So that's where I was going with this whole my brother-in-law and his girlfriend coming over. So it was really cool. We're over there carving pumpkins and stuff, and I got to tell her the story about, how the jack-o'-lantern came about, and she had never heard that story, and it was cool. It was one of those stories I like to tell people. I really like to tell kids. She's not a kid, but I really like to tell kids about that story.
Right.
I've told you guys about that story before, and I'm not going to get into it again. If you want to know it,
look it
up on Google.
Yeah, I just used to remember. I remember when I was a kid, and Halloween was just my fuck. I mean, as soon as October came in, dude, I was just beyond happy and excited.
Yeah.
And just the atmosphere in the air, the weather, everything was like it all just made it all feel a certain type of way,
Yeah.
And I was just trying to think back on some times that I had when I was younger and how it made you feel and stuff. And see, so back when, you were a kid as well, but back when I was a kid, I was actually probably one of the last generations that were able to do this. But being able to ride in the back of your dad's truck or in the back of someone's truck, we used to do that all the time. We'd always be in the back of the fucking truck, dude, all the time. But I remember
I saw the neighbor's kids in the back of a truck yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I just remember. We were driving. We were driving one night, and we were coming home, and it was close to Halloween. And my buddy was staying the night with us, and I remember my dad telling us we were sitting on the back of the truck in our driveway. Before we went inside, it was big ass full moon, bright outside.
Yeah.
And we lived on 5 acres. We had a bunch of woods. And we had like a hill that went down over a pond. And then it was all woods behind it. Well, the mist was coming up off the pond. And the light was shining through the mist and stuff. And my dad was like telling us this story about a witch that lived out in the woods or something.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, and I remember he was telling us the stories, and we were just all like, you know, and look, there she is, you know, and stuff like that, thinking you seen her and this and that. And it's
kind of like the beginning of I, Madman.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was just really cool. And then we'd run around trying to find it and stuff like that. And
that's cool.
You know, just thinking about all the scary stuff, but it's funny to me. We've talked about this a lot, but it's funny to me just how like the creepiness always, it makes you happy though.
Yeah.
You know, everyone loves to be scared. Everyone likes to
even if they don't admit it.
Right. Well, then why the hell do you go to these places?
They still like it.
You know, it's a proven fact. You take a girl to a horror movie if you want to freaking
if you want to cuddle.
Want to cuddle. It's that thing.
If you take her to a haunted house, make sure everybody in the house knows her name.
Yeah, and then she runs into a fence. We were just talking about that earlier. But, you know, I don't know, just some of the stuff. I remember some Halloweens back in the day. We didn't have any money, you know, so my mom would make our costumes usually. We loved Ninja Turtles, so she'd always cut us some Ninja Turtle shirts up or some shirts up with the eye colors and stuff, and that'd be our masks and whatnot, and we'd have little things wrapped around our arms.
Right.
And, you know, you'd get some sticks and they'd be your weapons. Stuff like that, but you were happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that was the main thing. You're happy. I remember just at that time of the year is just, for some reason, I don't know, it's supposed to be creepy, but man, it just really brings me happiness.
Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, you know, I grew up in the 70s and, you know, I don't remember the early 70s, but the late 70s, early 80s, you know, having those. We were fairly poor, but my mom always made sure that I had a Halloween costume. And usually we would go and we'd get, and some of you older people are gonna know this, we'd get those old Mike Post Halloween costumes. You know, it was in a cardboard box, and it had like a plastic mask and like a freaking little suit thing that you could wear that was made out of fucking saran wrap or whatever, you know.
Right.
And dude, the fucking mask would always cut your face, and like you'd be drowning from all the fucking, you know,
chemical smells,
all the fucking humidity from your fucking breath, because you know nothing escaped this damn thing, you know. And you know, she'd suit us up and take us trick-or-treating. And I remember we actually didn't live in the country. We lived in the city. And every year, you know, Mom would take me and my sister out trick-or-treating. And there was one house that was like a block and a half down the street from us that they always did a thing kind of like I do now, but not to the scale. You know, their front of their house would be all decorated, and they had it set up to where you would walk in the front door, and it was like, I remember you'd walk in the front door and there was a staircase that went along the wall to the right, and there was a hallway that went back to the kitchen. And so they would have the front door open, and you would have to walk all the way down this hallway to the kitchen. And in the kitchen, they'd have the kitchen all decorated, and they'd have a big witch's cauldron in there with, you know, with like fog in it and stuff.
Right.
And, you know, they're doing it, you know, kind of like a haunted house, but not, you know, they weren't real scary.
Right.
I was petrified. The first couple of years, I wouldn't even go in there. And when I finally went in there, it was amazing. And I think, you know, that may have been what started my love for Halloween. But what was cool is you walk down this hallway into the kitchen, And like I said, they had this big witch's cauldron, and this witch, like stirring the cauldron. It was a real person, and she was stirring the cauldron. And if you wanted candy, you had to put your hand inside the cauldron. You couldn't really see in there because it was all full of smoke and stuff. But you reach in there, and they had all their stuff like bagged in like little paper bags, and you just grab a paper bag and that had your treats on it and stuff, and they usually had, 5 or 6 pieces of candy in there or whatever. Right. And it was cool, man. And just for me, Halloween is one of those, it's been a love of mine ever since I was a little kid. And now I like to do all this decorating. I put this huge cemetery out in the yard, and I light it all up and have all these fog machines. And I don't do anything gory. I just want it to be really creepy. And I do it for the kids, man, because that's what Halloween's all about, man.
Right.
As much, I'm an adult. Well, I'm actually elderly now. But, as much as I love Halloween, and I do it for myself, but I do it for the kids, man, because I remember what it was like when I was a kid seeing this stuff.
And not only, it's kind of hard to let your kids go out now. So when I was a kid, when I was like, I don't know, I was probably 7 or so, maybe even 6 or 7 years old. My parents, they would take us like up to St. Peter's and St. Charles.
Yeah.
And the big subdivisions. Mm-hmm. And like my older brother would be with us and my older sister and like their friends and stuff. So we would walk around with them. And my parents would always be like following somewhere in a car. Right. They'd know kind of where we were at, the gist of it. Yeah. But I remember going like it's like, holy crap, it's so freaking. And for some reason, I remember the weather was so much better back then than it is now. Yeah. As far as on Halloween, like I remember it being decent weather all the time. Like I remember going out every Halloween, and there was fairly nice weather out, back in the day.
I remember in the 80s it snowing on Halloween.
Yeah, man. It just seemed like it back then. But then,
right.
But, I remember walking through these subdivisions. You see all these, like, hundreds and hundreds of kids all over the place. Everyone dressed up. It was just really cool. And then, like, there'd be houses that were giving out, like, cans of soda and stuff like that. And, like, we got grab you a soda and a full-size candy bar. And you're like,
Hell yeah. That's what I told my wife. We give out full-size candy bars, too. And I told her, I said, the first kid that walks up and says to me, "Oh, my God, full size. We like the big ones." I'm going to look at him and say, "So does your mom." And then my wife slapped me.
Yep. Get yourself together.
Anyway. But yeah, no, man, I get it. Like when I was a kid, we lived in a subdivision. It was a fairly small subdivision. There was maybe, oh God, I don't know, 30 houses, maybe 40. Mm-hmm. There were 2 subdivisions like side by side,
right?
And they kind of connected. There wasn't a road that connected them, but there was like a walking path that was probably the size of a road. You could drive a car down this walking path, and we would go all around my subdivision and then go over onto the other street and go up and down the other street. And, dude, it was crazy. It's like you say, man, there's hundreds of kids out there trick-or-treating. Now, you go by that subdivision, you might see 5 kids out there trick-or-treating.
Well, no one trusts anybody anymore,
And honestly, and it's funny. When I was a kid, they always talked about, got to be careful, people putting razor blades on apples and drugging candy and all this stuff. And I'm here to tell you, people, ain't nobody going to waste their good drugs on your kids.
Right. My thing is that we take our boys out trick or treat. We will walk in places and stuff, but we just don't. I would never, in a million years, till my kids are like in their teenage years, let them walk around by themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a different world we live in.
It's crazy, man. But the main thing about it is this time of the year is that they get freaked out and they get scared, but they like it. My boys like that stuff, and it keeps their imaginations alive. And that's kind of like with me and you, man. Honestly, you never want to lose that that sense of just what if or wondering what's going on. Like, and I still have that, and that's what honestly
I do too. I wonder why the fuck we're here.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing still here 5 years later doing this podcast?
Yeah. To the whole 5 people that listen.
There's a lot more than that, evidently.
Yeah, apparently so.
But, honestly, we met a lot of awesome people, and then you get to see that it sucks that you can't get together with people more often.
Yeah.
And
horror is alive. We're not the only people out here doing this.
That's right. And not only that, not just horror, but like, cryptids, paranormal, all that stuff, it keeps that imagination going, which honestly, I think keeps your brain working. You don't get stuck in this mundane aspect of life of that all you have to do is work and then that's it. Do I work every day? Yeah. Does my wife work every day? Yeah. But we come home and we still, have awesome conversations with our kids, watch our kids learn things, see what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Let their imaginations run. And then make sure imagination run because you go with them like, yeah, let's go check this out, And then as they get older, I can't wait. Like my son's already told me, he's like, I'm taking over your podcast when I get older.
Fuck, send his ass over.
Time to retire. But, as he's like, Dad, take me with you to the podcast. I'm like, no, not today.
Not yet.
Not today.
Not yet.
Today.
We're working on it, though.
Eventually, you'll see him. You'll see him on there. But, Halloween for most folks, unless you're get into the whole some religious people just bash on it so much, and like I've had a friend, he's an acquaintance of mine, he's a Facebook friend. I've known the guy for a while, but he's recently found God or whatever and Jesus and whatnot, and
he's not the guy I know, is he?
I don't think
the one that we went out to his house.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Right. This is a different person, but this guy
different creeper.
Different creeper. This guy here, he just posts stuff up. If you celebrate Halloween, then you're something about like evil shit. I'm just like, why don't you? Honestly, all your religious holidays, they're all based off of freaking paganism anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people are like, oh, if you celebrate Halloween, you're celebrating a pagan holiday. Well, let me tell you about Christmas.
Yeah, and everything else you fucking Easter, all that shit.
Yeah.
But my thing was, I'm like, listen, man, don't judge people. Halloween. Now, I'm more getting in touch with my pagan side of things. But like, for most folks, and even for my kids, Halloween is a time to be fucking a kid.
Yeah.
It's a time to let yourself go and believe in all the creepy stuff and all that jazz that everyone likes to do.
And every culture celebrates some form of Halloween. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the way we do it here is different than the way they do it elsewhere. I mean, Halloween actually came from the Celts.
Yeah.
Look at like the Spanish.
Day of the Dead.
They celebrate Day of the Dead.
That's what yeah, man, for sure. And that's actually really cool. I like that. I don't know if you dug too much in the history of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Oh yeah, Day of the Dead is kind of cool.
I like what that represents to them.
We need to get our friend Sandra Clark on here and have her talk to us about Day of the Dead, because she would know a lot about that. She's been trying to get on here and talk to us about La Llorona and tell us the actual true story behind La Llorona that she heard from her grandmother growing up.
Yeah, so she's from that. So it's something. It's just a really cool holiday, and I personally have gotten into the point of I like learning about everyone else's holidays, the way they support,
absolutely,
the way they do things, the story behind it, But yeah, honestly, guys, I just want to say this for Halloween, you guys, if you're on this religious aspect of things, just kind of just let that go. It's not about that. It's about just kids being kids and enjoying life, wondering about the mysteries of life and the creepiness and all that stuff. There's nothing. It doesn't make you a bad person, shit. I'm not going to get into it. But anyways, I feel, and I think if you talk to most people who know us, me and JT are some pretty good fucking people, and most people who know us will tell you that. But we're into this stuff. Doesn't make us bad people.
Well, you may not want to mention my name in some circles, but just saying.
The Chevy. Don't mention his name at Chevy dealerships.
Yeah.
But dude, so like, sorry guys, I'm gonna go on a little thing here. So me and my brother the other day went and we were hauling some wood and stuff and selling some wood, and on the way back, he's like, I love doing this, and he pulls in the fucking sack of Lares forward.
Yeah.
He pulls in there and he just pulls in. He's like, these guys come out like freaking vultures. Yeah. And he sits there and he's like, act like he's looking at his truck, and you see him walking up to his truck, and he'll wait till they get about from here to the door and pull up a little bit, and then they'll follow and he'll pull up a little more. And then he gets up to the end of the drive, and then he's sitting there, and then he's like, the guy starts walking and he gets almost to the truck, and he's like, looks at him, waves, and just takes off. It's just funny.
Oh,
he's like, I do this all the time. I'm like, you should have pulled the window down. I'm like, hey, do you know how to get to the Chevy dealership? But no, he does it all the time. He just pulls in there and lets them fucking like follow him around in the vehicle.
Nice.
And they're walking through the parking lot trying to find him. I'm like, God dang, they are like vultures over here.
Yeah.
They're out there waiting, son.
Well, yeah, that's how they make money.
Yeah. I just think it's fun. It was funny. But no, money.
I'm excited for Halloween. I know I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I've got, I'm frustrated with all this weather.
Yeah.
And I can't control it. I'm the type of person, I typically love it when it rains.
Right.
But God damn it, I got shit I need to get done, And so I've got all this stuff put together, sitting in my shop, ready to go out, and I can't even put it out because it won't stop raining.
It's a raining rain.
It's raining men. Hallelujah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, jeez. So when are you going to watch The Exorcist?
I don't know. That's one of those movies I'll have to watch by myself because my wife will not watch that with me.
Oh, yeah?
She does not ever want to see the original again. She just... and I get it.
Now, did you watch the original with her? Or did she see it before you guys got together?
No, she saw it before we got together, and there's been a few times where it's been on, and I've been watching it, and she'll be like, nope, and she'll get up and leave. She just doesn't want to see it. She's, I don't know that I don't really know. My wife is not big into horror. She watches a lot of it because I am like a horror freak. Everything I watch is horror related.
Right.
And her, she's just like, she always tells her friend, she's like, oh yeah, I'm sure I've seen that. He makes me watch so much much freaking horror. Oh, there is a new thing. I just caught it today. I got to figure out where to watch it. It just came out. It's a series called Amityville: The Origin.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Something, and I read through the description of it, and I was like, oh shit, that sounds good. It actually delves deep into the story behind the DeFeo murders and what led to the, ghost stories and all that stuff,
Right.
And it's on MGM Plus, which I don't have MGM Plus. Or at least I don't think I do. I don't know. I've got so much shit. It's crazy. It's funny. I go through all these different streaming services trying to find something to watch, and next thing I know, I've been sitting there for 2 hours. It's like, fuck, I could have watched a movie in the time it took me to surf through all this shit.
It just costs so much.
It's like, the Fire Stick's pretty cool because, if I know what I want to watch, I could say, hey, this is what I want to watch, and it'll tell me if I have access to it sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Didn't Netflix's prices go up?
Yeah. Everything's went up. It's ridiculous.
Dude, so
I actually have, contemplated canceling Netflix. My wife watches it quite a bit. I hardly ever watch it unless there's something really cool on there, like a series or something. Like I really, really dug the Fall of the House of Usher. Great series. But that's a Mike Flanagan deal. You know, Mike Flanagan's done some really cool stuff here lately.
It's just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of money for.
It is.
You know, and it seems like.
It is, but what else am I going to do? Oh, I know. I'm going to go flip the switch on my well.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, you know, and then like talking about everything going up, shit, dude. Like I don't smoke, you know, but my wife does, and she went to a Quick Trip. She went just to pull in her, get a pack of cigarettes, and they're like, "That'll be $10
for a pack of cigarettes."
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh
Holy
no, I'm good." And then she left and went down the fucking street, and it's $7.
Yeah,
for the same pack.
Wow, that's crazy.
$10 a pack at Quick Trip.
I mean, I can't say much. I smoke these damn cigars.
Yeah, but dude, I mean that's nothing compared to like New York, California. I think in California and New York, it's like close to almost like $17 or $18 a pack.
Shit, fucking weed's cheaper than that,
and definitely better.
Definitely gonna get more out of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy your Halloween. Have fun. Watch some scary movies or some TV shows or whatever. Tell some scary stories.
Hang out with your kids. Tell them scary stories. You know, kids love that. They'll eat that shit up.
You know, just let them be kids and eat some candy and have a good time.
Let yourself be a kid.
Right.
I mean,
enjoy it.
Come on.
Enjoy it. Live your life. And don't worry about nothing else. You know, this time, just
don't worry about the church lady across the street who's doing a prayer circle around your
who's looking
display.
At you all fucking crooked and shit.
You know, when we first moved out here and started doing this Halloween display, we were it was funny. We kept having these church groups showing up at the house. We were like, you know, have you found Jesus? Well, yeah, he's buried out there in the yard.
See that first crypt that you just drove past?
Yeah.
That's his.
That was him. That was him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be all right. But yeah, guys, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Let your kids be kids. Dress them up in whatever they want to do, no matter what it is. And, you know, and live the life. Be happy. Be happy on this creepy day.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Don't worry. Be happy. And just remember, all your family members are watching right now, so don't be doing nothing, you know, you don't want them to see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Keep your hands out of your pants.
No.
Just a friendly reminder on Halloween. That's the day that the dead get to walk and see what's going on. So if you don't want Nana seeing what you do in your private time.
You ever been sitting on the couch jerking off and you look up and you see a picture of your grandma?
You're like, no, it's usually just in my hand.
Fuck, I need to move that.
It's usually in my other hand.
Oh! Boom, boom. And just like that, folks, we're out of time.
That's it, guys. We love you, man.
Yeah. Have a good time. Enjoy your
Halloween, horror fam.
Hopefully you get lots of candy and get creeped out somehow.
That's right. That's right. We love you guys. Thank you for support.
Yeah.
As always. And until next time.
Next time.
Keep it creepy.